Clint, you got a bundle up there for me?
Yes, sir, Hoss. I think so.
Good. Been waiting for it.
Thank you.
Hey, come back with that.
Kids are getting plumb out of hand. I'll get it for you.
Oh, never mind. Never mind. Just some sandwiches in it, that's all. Permit me to introduce myself. I'm Sam Washburn, and this is my wife, Martha.
I'm happy to meet you. Just call me Hoss. Where are you folks planning on staying?
Well, we hadn't decided yet. Maybe you could suggest a place.
Well, yeah. The Palace Hotel down here. It's the best place in town.
Oh, Sam, I'm afraid that's a shade too expensive.
Martha, don't look on the dark side of things. As the poet says, it's always darkest before the dawn. I'm sure in a town this size that I can obtain a position that's worthy of a man of my talents.
You want to try to get a job here?
Well, why not? I hear this is a very prosperous town.
Not anymore, it ain't. See, we had a couple of real bad mine disasters a few months ago and created a bunch of widows in town. They got no means of support, no money. As a matter of fact, some of those kids right there are probably from some of those families.
Oh, how sad.
We're doing what we can for them, even trying to find work, but there just ain't enough jobs to go around.
Sam, whatever are we going to do?
I'll tell you what, ma'am, you're mighty welcome to come out and stay at our place until you make up your mind what you want to do.
Thank you, just the same, but we can't accept charity.
Do like you want to, sir. If you change your mind, and I hope you do, I'll be down here in the general store. There's plenty of room at the Ponderosa.
Did you hear what he said? The Ponderosa. That's the name of his ranch. You know what that means?
What?
We're in luck. The Ponderosa is the top outfit in the whole Nevada territory. Young man. Well, sir, we've changed our minds.
Oh, good.
I have a feeling that Lady Luck is about to smile on us. Hey, Martha?
I hope so, Sam.
Well, ma'am, we'll do what we can to help her smile a little. Hi, Paul. I want you to meet some friends I brought in from town. This is Mr. and Ms. Washburn. This is my Paul and my brothers, Adam and little Joe. Mr. Washburn. Paul is, where's Hop Sing?
Oh, he's in his room sleeping.
Good. There ain't gonna be no more complaining about the food, Paul.
What complaints?
Ms. Washburn here, Paul, is one of the finest cooks this side of the Mississippi. Yes, sir. I reckon you folks are tired. I'll show you on up to your room.
Could I take a peek at the kitchen first?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Look, Joe, you take Mr. Washburn up and show him the room.
Huh?
Just do like I say. Take the bags and take him up and show him the room. That's it. You go right on up. Yes,
come right with me, Mr. Washburn.
You just make yourself right to home in there, Miss Washburn.
Now, what's this all about?
Oh, I can explain everything. Now, don't get sore.
I'm not sore.
This poor old couple were stranded in Virginia City. They was flat busted, had no place to turn, Paul. He lost all of his money in some bad investments, and they needed work, Paul. What else could I do?
But The horse.
Oh, just a couple of weeks.
Horse, don't you understand? Hop Sing. He doesn't like anybody in his kitchen.
Yeah, I know it. Dad, Bernie, that does worry me, I guarantee you. Adam, you're better at this sort of thing than I am. Why don't you talk to Hop Sing and explain it all to him, huh?
No, I'm sorry, brother. You got yourself into this, so I'm afraid you'll have to get yourself out.
What a heavenly kitchen. All those shiny pots and pans. Oh, I just can't wait for tomorrow morning to try out my special recipe for popovers. If you only knew what it means to me to be in a real home, even if it is only for a little while. Thank you, Mr. Cartwright. Good night, all.
Well, here I go again. I'll talk to Hop Sing.
Hop Sing, we could use a little more of that jam.
Hop Sing not cook. Hop Sing just silver polisher. You got new cook, you let her get it.
I'll get it, Pa.
Oh, Mr. Washburn had his breakfast yet?
Oh, yes, hours ago. He's outside sawing wood.
Sawing wood? You happen to be doing that at his age? Mr. Washburn.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Cartwright.
Good morning, Mr. Washburn, but you must stop this immediately.
Well, I guess it won't hurt to relax for a while.
Mr. Washburn, sawing wood it's much too hard for you.
Oh, I fully intend to earn my own keep, sir. I'm not a man to sit idle while my wife is working.
Well,
Sam, why don't you come in and have a cup of coffee and some popovers?
Later, Martha, later. You know, my little wife wouldn't be working now, except that I overextended myself financially.
Yeah, Hoss mentioned something last night about some unlucky investments that you'd made.
Oh, he did, huh? Well, the truth is, I invested all our savings, even mortgaged our little home, in a small but very promising copper mine back in Utah. Now, to make a long story short, in no time, I ran out of money. And the joke of it is that all I needed was $200 to buy proper machinery, and I'm sure we could have hit pay dirt by now.
$200?
Yeah.
What would you say if I offered to lend you that $200?
That's very generous of you, sir.
Oh, it's not generous at all.
As the poet says, neither a lender nor a borrower be. No, Mr. Cartwright. Thank you kindly, sir.
Well, Mr. Washburn, if you change your mind, that offer still stands.
Oh, Sam, I'm so glad you didn't take that $200.
$200? That's chicken feed compared to what I have in mind. I was merely baiting the hook.
Oh, Sam. Well, it's getting late, Sam. Are you coming to bed?
No, dear. You run along.
Are you going to sit out here all night?
I don't believe so. My infallible instinct tells me that the fish will soon be rising to the bait.
Well, mine tells me that maybe all you'll catch out here is a cold.
Evening, ma'am.
Evening.
Mr. Washburn.
Evening, Hoss.
Mr. Washburn, I'd like to talk to you a minute if I could.
Good night, Martha.
Good night, horse.
Night now.
Well, what's on your mind, Hoss?
Well, Mr. Washburn, it's about that copper mine.
How'd you know about that?
Pa told me all about it.
I shouldn't have shot off my mouth to him about my troubles.
No, sir. I'm glad you did. As a matter of fact, I've been thinking about it. And well, it's sort of hard for me being a stranger and all.
Well, Hoss, you a stranger? Only this morning I was saying to Martha, if I had a son, I'd want him to be a fine, upstanding young man just like you. Now, you just feel free to speak your mind.
Thank you, sir, I will. Well, Mr. Washburn.
Come, Sam.
All right. Sam. Been thinking about that $200.
Now, stop right there. I know what you're going to say, and I don't want to hear it.
Sam, you promised me I could speak my mind.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
Well, the fact is, Sam, if you'll listen to reason, I got a little proposition. See, I've been saving some money, and I got a little bit of my own. And what I'd like to do is, I'd like to loan you that $200.
Well, since you're like a son to me, I got half a mind to accept your offer. By George, I will. But I must impose one condition.
What's that?
That we become equal partners, 50-50.
Sam, that's crazy. I mean, after all the time and work and effort you put in to develop that property?
Then the deal is off.
Now, come on, Sam, be reasonable.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll give you 25%, nothing less. And tomorrow morning, partner, you're getting a deed to make it legal. Now, is it a deal?
It's a deal.
Just one thing more, partner. If you'll permit an old man to retain just a bit of his false pride, don't tell your father and your brothers about this. Well, I'd feel terribly embarrassed if they knew that I had borrowed money.
It'll be our secret, Sam.
Thank you. Well, goodbye, Ben.
Bye, Sam.
I can't remember when I've had a happier 2 weeks. I'm going to miss you all very much.
Well, I hope it's not long before you're back to see us again.
Martha, if you don't hurry, we'll miss the stage.
All right, Sam. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, yeah, there go two nice people.
Yep, I'm sure gonna miss them.
Bless you all.
We'll never forget what you've done for us. Goodbye.
Bye.
Mr. Cartwright. Oh, Mr. Cartwright.
Yes, Hobson.
Hobson giving notice. I quitting at end of week.
You're quitting? Oh, now, don't tell me that you're still angry because that poor, sweet woman did the cooking for a couple of weeks.
Oh, no, Mr. Cartwright. We very big friend.
Good.
And Mr. Washburn, he going to make Hobson rich. See? This is deed to land mine. I pay him $50 for it. Then he give me 10% of his copper. Oh, so sorry. Hobson promised not to tell. Not even you, Mr. Cartwright.
I don't understand. All he needed was $200, and I gave him that for 25% of his copper mine. I don't understand.
Well, I think I do. Did he also insist that this be a private affair, his and your secret?
Yeah, he said he'd be embarrassed.
He'd be caught. Because he felt that if you told me, then he wouldn't get my $200. Now, he made the same deal with me. Oh, Sam left here $450 richer than when he came.
$650. He told me I was going to get rich on my small but sound investment.
Well, at the rate we're shelling out, I think Sam Washburn's the only one who's going to get rich. Well, Pa, at least you didn't get hooked in this swindle.
Count me in.
Well, Sam Washburn ain't getting away with it. I brought him here. I'm gonna bring him back.
That old rascal. Do you realize that we are now the proud owners of 110% of a copper mine? Shake, partners. First, you sell us 110% of a copper mine. And then it turns out there is no copper mine. Sam Washburn, do you know what you are? You're a low-down swindler.
That's a harsh word, Mr. Cartwright. An exceedingly harsh word. Entirely unwarranted. As the poet says, to err is human, to forgive divine.
Well, you forgive me. Well, what the devil would you call a man who comes along and swindles his friends out of $800?
$850.
$850.
I would be inclined to withhold judgment until I was sure of my facts.
Come on, out with it, Sam.
Please, Sam, without the poetry.
As you will. It began a short time ago. Martha and I were looking forward to secure our sunset years. And innocent babes that we were, we fell into the clutches of a smooth-talking operator. He gave us a glowing account of a mine that was supposed to have copper in it. So we swallowed his story, hook, line, and sinker, whereupon he departed for parts unknown, along with our lifetime savings.
So, since somebody swindled you, you figured why shouldn't you swindle somebody else, like us?
Oh, please, Mr. Cartwright, don't be too hard on Sam.
Never mind, Martha. We can't expect Mr. Cartwright to believe that I borrowed the money temporarily.
Borrowed? That's a new word for it.
Well, new or old, that's the truth. With this money, I intended to open a small business in San Francisco to recoup our losses. I anticipated returning the money shortly with considerable interest. Martha knew nothing about my plan until we were well on our way to Virginia City. She begged me to turn back. But if I'd only listened to you, sweetheart, I wouldn't be facing a jail sentence now.
Jail? Oh, no.
Don't worry, Mrs. Washburn. We're not going to send him to jail. And we're doing this for her, not for you. We got our money back, and, well, maybe Sam has learned his lesson by now.
Thank you for being so lenient. I guess we better go, Sam.
Wait a minute. Where are you gonna go?
Don't know. Things look hopeless now, but if we're lucky, maybe someday we could start a small business.
Hey, I got an idea. Paul, listen to this. Look, how would you like to have a business right here in Virginia City.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Wouldn't it, Sam?
Yes, that'd be fine.
But that isn't possible, is it?
Well, I think it might just be. I happen to know that old man Baxter wants to sell his general store and retire. Now, why don't we let the Washburns borrow back the $800?
$850.
$850, and start off all new right here in Virginia City.
Oh, you folks. I just don't know what to say.
Hoss, you know, it might just work. And it certainly would give Sam a sort of a chance to redeem himself.
What do you say, Sam?
Thank you, Hoss. Thank you all. Oh, if there was just some way I could repay your generosity.
Sam, there is. Just do a good job.
Oh, no, that's not enough. I know. I'll give you all some of my land in Utah as collateral.
Sam, that isn't necessary. The store itself is sufficient collateral.
No, sir. I insist that each of you accept 10% of my holdings as security for your $200 investments.
What I get for my $50?
You, Hab Singh, you get the same, 10%. Now, let's make it legal. Gentlemen, if the store is successful, I insist that you consider this land a gift. Never let it be said that Sam Washburn ever forgets past favors. Yes, sir, folks. Take a good look at that name up there. Square Deal Sam. And remember it, because not just today, but every day, the man behind that name will be offering you such dazzling merchandise at such rock-bottom prices where you'll think I've lost my mind. And as the poet might say, when you enter that store, you'll discover what's in store for you. But to celebrate this great launching, you men are asked to come up and have free beer on the house. And for you fair ladies, there's Martha's famous coffee and sandwiches. Come on and help us celebrate. First come, first serve.
Well, you gotta hand it to old Sam. He's generous.
Well, he can afford to be with our money. It's like Sam says, you gotta give a little to get a little.
Well, I've heard all I want to hear. I'm leaving.
Me too.
What do you think you're doing, boy?
Nothing.
Then take back those sandwiches. That's stealing.
What's the trouble, Sheriff?
Oh, Danny here stealing sandwiches again.
I wasn't stealing nothing. You ain't gonna let him take me to jail, are you? He said everybody could take a sandwich. Didn't you, mister?
Sam, don't you go getting soft-hearted with a kid like Danny. Just let him think he's found himself a sucker, and he'll take you for everything you've got.
Well, like he said, I told everybody to come and get it. Let the kid go, Sheriff.
Oh, all right. Maybe you made a mistake letting the boy off so easy. Then again, maybe you didn't. All I know is if you saw the conditions under which these kids lived, you'd understand why Danny and the rest of his gang are always on the streets. Then try and persuade this town to do something helpful about it, and all of a sudden everybody's deaf. Oh, it's a real problem.
That was a real kind thing to do, Sam. I'm beginning to believe that you like kids as much as I do.
Martha, kids get on my nerves just as much as ever. Only the law gets on them even worse.
And I hope it was worth it, Hop Sing. You look like you need about a week's sleep.
Last night is a very bad night for Hop Sing. This is Charlie Gibson. He's a very smart poker player.
You mean to tell me you were playing poker with a professional gambler like Charlie Gibson?
Did you lose your wages again, Hop Sing?
More, much more. But this time I lose all wages and deed to land Mr. Sam give to me.
Well, giving him that deed isn't such a great loss.
But that's what I figure. This is Mr. Gibson. He not so smart. He pay Hop Sing $100 for deed to pay off poker debt. I make $50 profit.
Pay you $100? Hop Sing, did you tell him there was copper on that land?
Sure. How else he buy it? He believe me when I tell him all Cartwrights own land too. Pretty smart businessman, hey?
Oh, yeah, you're real smart. Well, what do you think Gibson's gonna do to you when he finds out there's no copper on that land?
Even so, he get bargain. You each pay $200 for your deed.
Hop Sing, don't you realize you can be put in jail for what you did?
Paul, maybe I should ride into town and try to buy that deed back from Gibson.
Gibson wouldn't sell you back that deed, not if he thinks there's copper on that land. What you might do is send a telegram to the land office in Utah. And then when they send you the information that there isn't any copper, show that to Gibson as proof.
Yeah, well, I'll go in after breakfast. I hope I can get to Gibson before he starts any trouble.
Well, Hop Sing, do you think you've learned your lesson?
What's wrong? Hop Sing have beautiful straight. How he know Charlie Gibson have full house?
Good morning, Mr. Washburn.
Yeah.
Good day, Mrs. Washburn.
Good day.
Yes, sirree. The woman's touch is sure what this place needed.
Thank you, mister.
Gibson, ma'am. Charlie Gibson. And this here's my pal, Barney Shanks.
Howdy, ma'am.
How do you do?
Now, I come in for a half a dozen twists of tobacco for this here special pipe. And a pound of 10-penny nails, some twine. I forget anything, Barney?
A lantern.
That's right, a lantern. We've been working copper diggings, such as there are around here. I understand copper mining is one of your interests too, Mr. Washburn.
Copper?
Now, come on, Mr. Washburn. I happen to know that you've got considerable copper holdings in the territory of Utah, even sold part to the Cartwrights.
Is that a fact?
Well, I see you like to play it pretty close to the vest, Mr. Washburn. Now, how about dropping your little act and selling me the rest of that copper mine?
The only thing I own in the state of Utah is some empty land.
Well, then, seeing as how I already own part of your empty land, be it known by these presents that for the sum of $50, the bearer is hereby declared owner of 10% of the Ogden Valley real estate holdings. Signed, Samuel T. Washburn, witness, Ben Cartwright.
Well, I'll be hornswoggled. Well, I sold this deed to the Cartwright's cook, Hop Sing. How do you happen to have it?
He paid off a poker debt last night.
What beats me is how you got the idea that there's copper on that land.
Copper or no copper. You want to sell any more of it?
I might be interested if the price is right.
We're not interested in selling anything but the merchandise in this store, Mr. Gibson. Your purchases amount to $1.03, unless you don't happen to have that much money on you.
If you care to change your mind, Mr. Washburn, you'll find me at the saloon.
Why did you have to butt in like that, Martha? They were begging for it. And I could have gone on to something really big.
Oh, Sam, you're always on to something really big. Oh, I'm so tired of these big things that never turn out.
I suppose you think that Sam Washburn would rather end his days as a petty shopkeeper. Well, my dear, you've got another think coming.
Sam!
What'll it be?
Give me a whiskey.
Changed your mind, huh?
All right, boys. Here's the lay of the land. That parcel is all I have left of my choicest holdings. I'll sell it all to you for $1,000. Oh, it's a bargain, at double the price.
A bargain? Why, it's highway robbery. How come the price went up?
That's my proposition. Take it or leave it.
He just wants to do a little horse trading. Go on, call him back.
Washburn, would you come back here for a moment, please? Got a counter proposition for you.
Don't cost nothing to listen.
Now, why don't you sell shares in that there valuable parcel of land of yours? Let's say, as a starter, 1,000 shares at $1 a share. Well, that way, folks not rich like the Cartwrights could afford to get in and make a little money, too.
Say, that's a brilliant idea. I wish I'd thought of it myself. Now, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, Mr. Gibson. Since it was your idea, I'm going to give you 10 shares free and clear if you'll start the ball rolling.
You got a deal. All right, men. Listen to me. I got a proposition for you. For $1, 100 cents, you can buy a share in the richest copper land in the whole Utah Territory. Now, here it is, right here on this here map.
I'll take 5 shares of that.
5 shares, Barney. Would you assist me, please? Put Andy down for 5 shares.
Andy.
All right, men, now gather around me. Come on, all around me. Now, this is the chance of a lifetime, men. A chance to invest in America's future. If you want to get rich, this is it.
Martha, how long will it take you to pack?
Oh, Sam, what did you do?
Well, I told you I'd make it big someday, didn't I?
Where did you get all that money, Sam?
Well, now, let's just say that I came out ahead in a little stock transaction.
But Sam, what about the Cartwrights?
We'll send them a postcard from Paris. Now, you start packing.
Oh, it's some customers.
Oh, well, cover that, cover it. Well, what can I do for you, my boy?
It's on the list.
Are you feeding an army? It'd take me half a day to fill this.
What do you expect? There's 8 more of us kids besides Ma and me.
Oh, well, I haven't got time to fill this now. Come back later, huh?
Maybe they need it now, Sam. 9 children. It must be wonderful to have such a large family.
They ain't all family. I only got one brother, Tim here. Ma, she takes care of the other kids like Jesse here. Whilst Ma's out looking for work.
Martha, we haven't got time to listen to the story of his life. We got more important things to do. We get... Martha, you haven't time.
Well, here's your answer, Hoss. In your inquiry, land ownership, no evidence of any deed recorded to Sam Washburn or Ogden Valley Real Estate Holdings. Land you describe owned by the territory and occupied by the territorial prison.
Oh, boy. That's just great. Thank you, Norm.
Oh, what's the hurry, Oz?
I gotta go see Sam Washburn.
Now, if you're looking to get in on your friend Sam's big land deal, it's too late. A little while ago in the saloon, I had to put down some mighty mad folks who lost out on it, too. And the way they were fighting to give him their money, you'd have thought he was offering them the whole of Utah free.
Well, he dang near was. Read that.
You don't have any money. How did you expect to pay for all this?
Well, we kind of figured since Mr. Washburn here could give us all them sandwiches, we was chancing maybe he'd let us take all this stuff and wait till we could pay him.
All right, all right. Let him have it. Let him have the whole store. We don't need it anymore.
You mean it, mister?
Take everything you can carry now and come back for the rest later. You know, the sheriff said that big kid would try to make a sucker out of me. Yes, sir, you gotta hand it to that boy. He's got the makings of a real con man.
I'll take care of that money, Sam.
Oh, here now, Sheriff. That money belongs to me. You see, I got it because I sold the rest of my land in Utah.
Come off of it, Sam. There ain't no land in Utah, and you know it.
Well, Well. Caught in the act. Gentlemen, I'm forced to confess that I'm a sentimental old fool. Like you, Sheriff, I was trying to find a way to take care of our unfortunate urchins in the street. And only today, right out of the blue, came the answer. A foster home.
What? Oh, brother.
By using a slight diplomatic deception.
What you pulled was an outright swindle.
Don't be so technical, Sheriff. I raised the money, didn't I? And as the poet says, the end justifies the means.
Well, I don't think the judge will say that. Come on.
Oh, now, Sheriff, I'll sue you for false arrest. That money was collected to try and get decent shelter for our ragged lambs, our unfortunate orphans.
Now, that was the wildest one I've ever heard yet. Why does he make up those yarns, anyhow?
That's Sam. Before they reach the jail, Sam will be believing it all. You'll see, he'll convince himself he's crusading for the children.
Ma'am, he just invented that story just then to cover up his swindle.
That's right, Hoss. But that's the difference between Sam and a genuine swindler. A con man knows he's lying, but Sam doesn't. The only successful swindle he ever pulled was to bamboozle Sam Washburn into thinking he could be a swindler.
Well, ma'am, why does he keep trying? How come he ain't satisfied just stay here with the store?
Don't you see, Hoss, Sam wants to be a big man, but he doesn't know how. He always bungles, like today.
Well, ma'am, he's in bad trouble this time.
Hoss, he's too old to stay in jail. And he can't get along without me, even if he won't admit it. What am I going to do without my Sam? Oh, you've got to help me, Hoss. Please help.
Well, ma'am, I'll do what I can. That's a promise.
Oh, if only he won't try that wild story on the judge.
That's right, Your Honor. With these funds, I intended to build a home away from home for the deprived waifs of our area, to provide them with shelter, sustenance, and supervision. Such a foster home would not only return them to the paths of righteousness, but it would make them into useful citizens to whom all Nevada would point to with pride. And what's more, it would put Virginia City on the map as a community with a heart.
Put him away, Judge! He's
I am touched with the nobility of your motives, Mr. Washburn. In my 20 years as circuit judge, never have I heard a more moving story. For a moment there, you almost had me believing you. Had there been a grain of truth in your testimony, I might have been inclined to lighten your sentence. But as it is...
Your Honor, there might be some truth in what Sam says. And if you'll allow it, I've got a witness I'd like to bring in.
Now, after the prisoner has already pleaded guilty to the charges?
Well, if I can prove that his idea is a good one, will you consider that when you sentence him?
Very well. You may step down while the court hears the new witness.
Your Honor, this little feller's name is Danny Sipes. I'd like to ask Danny some questions, if I may.
Go ahead.
Danny, supposing there was a decent home here in town so you and the other kids could have a place to stay while your mamas are out working or looking for work, would you be willing to do that?
Sure, as long as it's got real windows and a roof that don't leak. There's enough food to go around.
I don't think you'd have to worry about that.
That's what you think, mister. Until Mr. Washburn here came to town, nobody ever cared if we ate or not. I just want to ask you something. Supposing there was this home, and Mr. Washburn has to go to jail, who'd run the place? Some skinflint who wouldn't even give a hoot about us?
Well, sir, I don't know, Danny. Of course, we ain't got that far yet. We still got to collect the money.
Yeah, that'll be the day.
All right, Danny. You can go now.
Oh, Sam, those poor kids. I wish I could help them.
If I may, Your Honor, I'd like to say a few words. Now, whatever Sam Washburn's motives were, and I'm not saying they were honest, he did prove one thing. And that is that the only way to get any money out of the folks in this town is to appeal to their greed and their selfishness. Been a lot of talk these last months about helping some needy families in this town. Well, that's what it's been, just a lot of talk. Because when it came to raising money, we couldn't even raise a plugged nickel. But let some complete stranger come into this town with a crazy, get-rich-quick scheme, and the folks in this town almost get themselves killed in their hurry to part with their money. Of course, the saddest thing of all is these children. Because they did have their hopes raised, foolishly or not, with all this talk about a foster home. And now these kids' hopes have been dashed to the ground.
Thank you, Mr. Cartwright.
Your Honor, if it's not too late, I'd like to put in a week's pay to help build that home.
And I'll throw in 1 week's take for my saloon.
Your Honor, I'll match dollar for dollar any money raised to start that foster home.
I guess we're all ashamed for what we done. What do you say we put the whole kit and caboodle of that money into a fund for the foster home?
Sure. What do you say, folks? Sure. What do you say, folks?
Huh?
Until order is restored, there will be a 15-minute recess. That might give us all time to come to terms with our consciences. Hoss Cartwright, I want to see you. I have been informed that enough money has been collected to build the proposed home, as well as to sustain it for some years to come. I congratulate you. However, a criminal case is being tried here, and I have yet to pronounce sentence. Will the prisoner please rise? At the suggestion of Hoss Cartwright, I'm going to give you, Sam Washburn, a chance to use that lively imagination and ingenuity to some constructive use. Since these children seem to like you, I hereby put you on probation for 5 years as custodian of that proposed home. But I'm warning you now. If you betray their faith and trust, you'll be punished to the full extent of the law. Your chickens, Sam Washburn, have come home to roost. Court's adjourned.
Sam, I'm so happy.
Well, you got your wish, Martha. All the kids that you can handle.
Yes. And it'll be so good to settle down once and for all.
Settle down? Martha, you just can't think big. We ain't got time to settle down. Our work is just beginning. You heard what the judge said about imagination and ingenuity. Martha, I'm going to make this home famous throughout the United States. Maybe throughout the whole world.
I know you will, Sam.
Well, we did it.
Congratulations, Sam.
Thanks.
Don't you worry. Those kids get out of line. I'll be around with a club.
You better be careful, young man. That new home may turn out to be a good place for you.
Especially if they throw away the key.
Oh, I don't know how to thank you all. You're the nicest family I've ever known.
Sam?
Yes?
$2,000 here. And more is pledged.
Oh, that's fine.
Sam, remember, you're on probation.
Martha. Hoss, my eternal gratitude. That was a brilliant idea. Bringing Danny and the kids in just at the crucial moment. How did you ever happen to hit on it?
Well, Sam, as poets say, necessity is the mother of invention.
Oh, come on, do it.
Yes, nice for you. Sure, nice for you.